Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter when you may be catching this particular broadcast. Let me move this over. Always at a weird angle. No matter when you may be catching this particular broadcast, Altair Spells here, your voice manager. And I unmute the voice of women who are ready to speak up about what has kept them silent for way too long. This is our Warrior series, guys. I am excited. Thank you to those who checked out this special segment over the weekend on Saturday with my mentor, Lee Robinson. Super excited about that, guys. And my little sister made a debut in it, that part. But the Warrior series has been, good morning, Clara. The Warrior series has been all about really shifting some things because we said that we're marching into some new things for 2020. We wanted to achieve some great things. We wanted to really see ourselves um, shine through, right? And in doing so, that meant that we had to tap into that warrior that's on the inside of me, tap into that warrior that's on the inside of you. And so with that being said, we've covered a couple topics so far. For those of you who may have missed it, you can check it out on the page or go and check it out over on the YouTube channel. And for those who are new, welcome, because I know each week we've been getting some new people coming in and checking out the series along with us. I do have to say this, that this has been a wow conversation because it's really digging into, do we really trust God? Because we have to think, when you are a warrior, as a warrior, you trust the king that you're fighting for. When you're a warrior, you trust whatever it is that you're fighting for, like what you're fighting against. You believe that that's something wrong. And when you're fighting for something, you believe in your heart of hearts that it needs to be protected, it needs to be valued, it is important, it can save someone. And so when we go into this whole mindset of uh I'm fighting for this, I'm a warrior, there's no backing down. And so that's why today's segment is really, really important for me, because it's learning how to show up. How many of y'all literally you're like, you show up drained at your job, you show up drained, and you look like you stressed out when you show up to church on Sunday. You look like you need to lay across the altar. But there's a way that we can show up, and there's a confidence that needs to be instilled in us in order for us to show up as if we're ready for battle. And so that's what I'm going to be going over today, is that we're showing up ready for battle. We're showing up ready to get some things done, ready to take some things under our wing, ready to shift some atmospheres, ready to change some conversations. We're showing up with intent. And when you show up with intent, you also need to show up in such a way that sometimes you intimidate the enemy. Hey, Deborah, good morning. Sometimes you intimidate the enemy. And so I'm excited. It's my birthday week, y'all. I'm ready to go all in. Y'all ready? I'm ready. Make sure that you share it out. Somebody somewhere may need this. Join the conversation. Listen. Okay, so hey, Aaron, good morning. So when we talk about showing up, you got to show up like a warrior, and how you show up to battle determines, it not determines, how you show up to battle depicts how you really feel about the battle. How many of y'all understand that? When I show up to the battle and I know that I'm going to win, there's a confidence there. There's a boldness in my conversation. There's a boldness in my responses. There's a boldness in my actions. When I show up knowing that I'm going to win, there's something about how I walk. There's something about who I engage with, right? Come on. There's something about it. It's different because I know who it is that's standing with me. I know who's got my back. I know who's protecting me. And so the first scripture is Isaiah 42. Oop, and it don't want to. Oop, see, that ain't nothing but the enemy. I was about to say, as soon as I go to read it to y'all, it don't want to come up. Ain't that about something? Isaiah 42:13. The Lord will march forth like a mighty hero. He will come out like a warrior full of fury. He will shout his battle cry and crush all his enemies. This is the thing. Are we showing up to battle as God has showed us to show up? Y'all better catch this. Are you showing up to battle as he showed you how to show up? He just said it. The Lord will march forth like a mighty hero. So you're first of all, you're showing up like a mighty hero. He will come out like a warrior. You're coming out like a warrior. You're girded up. Good morning. Hey, sis. You're girded up. You're prepared. You're ready. You showing up like you're ready for the fight. uh he will come out like a warrior full of fury. Do you got your mad face on? Do you got your I'm ready to do this face? Do you got your face on saying that I'm ready to take this on, that I am more than a conqueror, that I am blessed, I am a king's kid, and that I'm showing up because this is mine? And God already said that I had it. He already gave it to me. And so I'm just coming to claim what he has already told me is mine. Are you showing up in that manner? He will shout his battle cry. What's your battle cry? Can I tell you something? That one of the most interesting things I used to think about when it came to Mike Tyson is that when you looked at Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson showed up, you would be like, okay, you'd be a little intimidated, right? Because it's Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson spoke, you would be a little less intimidated. But then there were things that Mike Tyson would do that would make you intimidated again. Or if you're in the ring, if you look at two people in the ring, when you see somebody in the ring, oh, this going to bless y'all. When you see somebody in the ring and they're doing stuff and they're doing moves, it intimidates you. I remember in this season, this field hockey season, my oldest daughter was the goalie. And there was a team, one of the last teams that they played, and they actually lost against the team, but it was one of the last teams that they played. And the team, it was not a team that they played during the regular season. So they had never seen my daughter, they had never seen the team, none of that. When they showed up and saw my daughter, because beforehand, you do a little practice beforehand, and they saw my daughter, they were intimidated by how good she looked and how good she was. They were intimidated. They saw her and they were like, okay, we really gonna have to put in our all for this game. I don't know if they knew that they were gonna have to put in their all for the game before they stepped on their field. But when they stepped on the field and they saw her, they had a conversation amongst themselves because they said she came ready to play. This is how I know is after the game, my girls, their team lost. The other team walked up to no one else on the team. They walked up to my daughter and they said, "You are so good. You intimidated us when we got here because we were watching you. I need you to understand. Warrior, there's somebody watching you right now. And if you show up with a face of defeat, then you are doing damage to you and your battle. If you show up with the confidence that God is on your side, then you will intimidate the enemy before they even get into battle with you. Some of you, your war cry will be your smile today. Your war cry will be your laughter today. Some of you, your war cry will be the encouraging word that you give today. How are you supposed to be showing up? Because when you show up as the warrior you are, you intimidate the enemy. How you show up matters. I need y'all to put that down below. And I need somebody who's my scribe this morning, Isaiah 42:13. I need you to have that understanding. So are you showing up to battle the way God presented it and how he's showing up to battle? And so he will shout his battle cry and crush all his enemies. So this is the thing. When you decide that you're going to show up in such a way that you are covered. So I was sitting there and I'm like, oh my goodness, when it comes to showing up, it's not always easy to show up. Can we be honest? Can we be honest in saying that? It's not always easy to show up. When you just dealt with the loss of a loved one, it's not always easy to show up, looking like you're not defeated. When you failed at something, it's not always easy to show up, looking as if you're still okay, as if you're going to be okay. It's not always easy to show up. Can we be honest in saying that? It's not always easy to show up. But when you do so, you not only influence you sometimes, because sometimes just by you showing up is an encouragement to yourself. How many of y'all understand that? Sometimes just showing up is an encouragement to you, but it's going to impact someone else. But I want you to see this. And so Psalms 18, 30. Wait, I don't pass it. 35. Psalms 18:35. You have given me your shield of victory. Your right hand supports me. Your help has made me great. Did you hear that? You have given me your shield of victory. Your right hand supports me. Your help has made me great. When we go into battle, we have to understand that he has girded us. That's the word that, if you look, this is the New Living Translation. If you look at the King James, it's he girded us. And girded is to encircle a person or a part of the body with a belt or a type of band. And it says, you've given me your shield of victory. He's protected us. He's covered us. And we have to have that understanding, because that's what's going to give us that confidence for us to be able to go in and not look like what we've been through. That gives us the confidence for us to be able to show up and come out of the fire and not smell like smoke. I get it. It's not going to be easy all the time. There's scenarios that pop up that stress us out. But if we have him on our side, then how we show up matters. Because if I show up trusting in him, if I show up in faith, then it's going to change not just me, but it's going to change my atmosphere. He's protecting me. He's giving me a shield. And so we have to have that understanding because it even goes to our head. And this is the most valuable piece. I'm going to tell you why. The enemy fights us in our minds. The enemy fights us in our minds. He fights us in how we think about ourselves. He fights us in how we think about our situation. He fights us in who we talk to and how they influence how we're thinking. That's his battleground is the mind. Because if he can get you to think that you're not worthy, then you'll believe that you're not worthy and you won't show up as if you're worthy. If he can get you to believe and think that you can't win, then you'll show up as if you're already losing. Your affirmation for today is today I'm showing up as a winner. Today I'm showing up as a warrior. Today I'm showing up as a winner. Today I'm showing up as a warrior. And so Psalms 140 verse 7, and I think I'm going to do this one in the message too. O sovereign Lord, the strong one who rescued me, you protected me on the day of battle. It talks about how he covers our head. If you look at it, good morning, Haitian lines, he says, it talks about how he covers our head. And so I looked at it. I need y'all to have this understanding. See, when I show up in faith, knowing that God has me protected, then now I'm not dealing with the battle in my head as much because guess what? He has me protected. It says it in the word. And so why is our head protected? Why is he covering our head? We already talked about how the battlefield of the enemy is in our minds. And so he's covering our head because we have to understand that everything is here. Everything's in our heart and in our head. And if it's already in our head, then we've already solidified it. As a man thinketh, so is he. Listen, listen. Life and death are in the power of our tongue, but whatever is in our head and whatever is in our heart is going to come out of our mouths. And so, if the enemy can win in our heads, then we start to speak negatively. We can't show up to battle as a warrior if we're speaking as a peasant. We cannot show up to battle as a warrior if we're already speaking defeat. And so he's covering our head. Some of us, when we wake up in the morning, we're taking his covering off. We're not putting his covering on. We're sitting his covering to the side. His covering is his word. His covering is worship. His covering is our conversation and communion and time with him. That's how we get into his covering. That's how we walk up girded. That's how we walk out with the full armor of God ready for battle. And so we have to show up as if we about to win this battle. How are you showing up this week? Are you showing up ready to win the battle? Are you showing up defeated? Are you showing up scared? Are you showing up depleted? See, this is the thing. I make the choice on how I show up. This gonna bless somebody. I don't know who it's for. Y'all better tell a friend to tell a friend. I choose how I show up. I think this is the lesson that I'm continuously pouring into my children. and then to my clients. And even this weekend, as we were talking in our accountability call, and I said, so many people show up and they don't have integrity when it comes to them doing a digital store, when it comes to their business. So many people show up and they show up with a wrong heart. And so that they're not showing up 100% to see you win. They're not showing up 100% to see you thrive and grow. And so I even asked a question last week. I said, do women entrepreneurs support women? Like, do women support other women entrepreneurs? And the responses were like, some said yes, some said not really, some said I'm sometimes, some said only in my circle, and the responses varied. But it was interesting because I determine how I show up. So I determined, the word of God says, if you want friends, you show yourself friendly. Y'all better catch that. I hope y'all caught that. I show up. Come on. Come on. So how am I showing up? How am I showing up? I decide how I show up. I don't care what the boss said. The boss does not control my promotion. I don't know. I don't care what other people said. They don't control what my success. They don't control. Come on, y'all better catch this. 'Cause this will bless somebody. I, I don't care what the people are saying negatively about me. They don't control my success. I need y'all to say that out your mouth this morning, because you've been giving other people the power that God gave to you. You control your success. You control how you show up. And I don't care if you got $5 or $1 million, you show up the way that you show up. The problem comes in is when you fall into a trap of thinking that you got to show up how somebody else you said you should show up. You got to show up looking and sounding like somebody else. You got to show up the way that they did it. You don't have to show up that way. God showed you how to show up. He said, show up with me. I got you covered. I'll be your shield. I'll be your covering. And so when we think about covering, this is the part that's going to bless y'all. Oh, I hope y'all told a friend. This is the part. So when I read, okay, so I'm going to read Psalms 140 in the Message. Okay, so it's 140 verses 6 to 8 in the Message. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? I prayed, God, you're my God. Listen, God, mercy. God, my Lord, strong Savior, protect me when the fighting breaks out. Don't let the wicked have their way. Don't give them an inch. Come on, come on. And it talked about beforehand, stuff with self-importance. They plot ways to, oh, this gonna help y'all. Because see, this is what it is. I'm gonna go all the way back. Psalms 40, I'm gonna go all the way back to verse 1. I'm gonna tell you why. This is what somebody is dealing with right now. This is what somebody's dealing with at their job. This is what somebody's dealing with in their business. This is what somebody's dealing with at school. This is what somebody's dealing with in their neighborhood, at their church. It says, God, get me out of here, away from this evil. Protect me from these vicious people. All they do is think up new ways to be bad. They spend their days plotting war games. They practice the sharp rhetoric of hate and hurt. Speak venomous words that maim and kill. God, keep me out of the clutch of these wicked ones. Protect me from these vicious people, stuffed with self-importance. They plot ways to trip me up, determined to bring me down. These crooks invent traps to catch me and do their best to incriminate me. Does that sound like you? Does that sound like your week last week? Does that sound like your month last month? Mm. I prayed, God, you're my God. Listen, God, mercy. God, my Lord, strong Savior, protect me when the fighting breaks out. Don't let the wicked have their way. God, don't give them an inch. And then 9 to 11 says, these troublemakers all around me, let them drown in their own verbal poison. Let God pile hellfire on them. Let him bury them alive in crevices. These loud mouths, don't let them be taken seriously. There's these savages. Let the devil hunt them down. I know that you, God, are on the side of victims, that you care for the rights of the poor. And I know that the righteous personally thank you, that good people are secure in your presence. What did it say? I am secure in his presence. What does it say? I am secure in his presence. Stop leaving out your home without God. Stop showing up to your job without God, without God's presence. Stop showing up to the, can I be honest? Stop showing up to the church without God's presence. He should be with you wherever you go. And I know that the righteous personally thank you, that good people are secure in your presence. You have to understand, show up as if you are secure in God's presence. Show up as if he is covering your head. When he covers your head, that means that he blocks and absorbs the hit that was meant for you. When you show up secure in his presence, I can block the enemy's attack. When you show up secure in his presence, I can block whatever they said against me. When I show up secure in his presence, I can block the negative words that they're speaking against me. When I show up secure in his presence, it's blocked. He gave me a shield for in front of me. Ah, y'all better catch this. He gave me a shield for in front of me, and he is blocking and absorbing the hits that are coming from overhead. So the enemy may be coming at me. I am blocked because I have a shield surrounding me, and I have him covering me. So no matter if the enemy strikes, the enemy is hitting him. And so if the enemy hits him, even if I do get hit, he has absorbed the majority of the pain. Come on. I don't know if y'all with me this morning. I don't know if y'all here this morning. He has absorbed the majority of the hit. He has absorbed it because guess what? He is protecting me. I am in his presence. He is protecting me as I go. When I don't talk to him in the morning, am I in his presence? When I have not set that time aside, am I in his presence? When I have not had that conversation with him, am I in? When I have not spent that time in worship, am I in his presence? See, I need to make sure that his presence is with me. Is his presence with you? See, when you know that you know, when you got that boldness and that confidence, you'll be like my daughter was at that game. And even before the game started, she was showing the confidence of who she was. Come on. Come on. She was showing the confidence of who she was. She intimidated the other team. And so much, this is the thing, this is what they said. And this is why you have to show up even when you, oh, y'all better catch this. Even when you lose a battle, even when you lose a fight, you still are winning the war. There is something on the inside of you that will influence somebody else. I don't know who this is for, but there is something on the inside of you that by showing up to the battle, you are influencing somebody else. And so, my daughter being there and showing up and being in that cage and going at it and practicing beforehand, she intimidated the other team. And even when the other team won, they came and gave her respect. See, you looking for them to lose the battle. It's not always that they're going to lose the battle. Sometimes the enemy does win. Sometimes things do happen. But guess what? It's still going to work out for your good. So yeah, your boss may have gotten a drop on you. They may have said some negative things about you. They may have belittled you, but there's somebody else who's watching you who says, I see that you showed up ready for battle. I see the warrior on the inside of you, and I'm blessing you in spite of. So this week, when you show up, somebody's going to bless you in spite of. Mm. This week, when you show up, somebody's going to bless you in spite of. This week, when you show up, because you show up as a warrior, somebody is going to bless you in spite of what somebody else said. They're going to bless you. You're going to get the promotion in spite of what it looks like. You're going to get more clients in spite of what it looks like. You're going to have more conversations. You're going to have more blessings. You're going to receive, 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 receive this week in spite of, because you showed up as a warrior. You showed up ready for battle. And because God showed up with you, you're going to receive something even greater. Because he showed up with you, because you talked to him, because he's protecting you, because his shield is surrounding you, and he is blocking any attacks that come for your head. He's blocking the attacks that come for your head. So that means I need to be in his presence so I can block the attacks that's coming for my head, because they're coming for your head. Y'all better catch that. They're coming for your head. Because you see them all talking and you think they're talking about you. Y'all better come on. You see them all gathered and they looking at you and you think they talking about you. They coming for your head. They'll say little smart comments or make little smart remarks and or say things to try to get you agitated. They're coming for your head. It's a mind game. Your head is protected. God said he would absorb it. He would block it. You're protected. But that means you got to have your personal time with him. You got to have those conversations with him. Stop showing up as if you're not a warrior. Stop showing up as if you're not a warrior. And this is what I want you to understand, is that even when we think about with David, when David fought Goliath, David was prepared because of his time with God. David was prepared. He showed up as a warrior, even when facing a giant. I need you this week to show up as a warrior, even when it's a giant, even when it's bigger than you, even when it's bigger than what you've ever attacked before. Because a giant is so much bigger than a bear. But I want you to walk in the boldness of knowing that God already prepared you for this and that God is with you. He didn't send you into battle by yourself. So this week is going to be your week. I'm speaking it and I want you to receive it. This your week. This your week. Will you show up like the warrior you are? Or will you continue to give somebody else that power over you? Will you show up like the warrior that you are? Or will you give somebody else the power? When I show up like the warrior, and I know that his shield is surrounding me and he's blocking and absorbing the any hits that are coming from my head, I'm going to show up unafraid to do battle. I don't know what made you fearful to do battle. I don't know what made you scared. I don't know what tripped you up and made you think that you were no longer a warrior. I don't know what happened last week, last month, last year. But you are a warrior. There's a warrior on the inside of you. Understand that his shield is protecting you. Understand that he's absorbing and blocking the shots coming for your head. You just need to make sure that you're in his presence and that his presence is going with you. When his presence goes with me, I can't be stopped. And so the same way that that other team, as soon as they got there, they were intimidated. And even afterwards, they came and they paid respect. Things will work out in your favor. Things will work out in your favor when you show up as the warrior you are. Because things will work out in your favor in such a way that the people that you weren't even paying attention to, people that you thought were against you, will come and support you. Good morning, Vandora. The people that you thought were against you, the people that were talking about you, will be the ones that come and buy something from you this week. The ones that were tearing you down and tearing you apart are looking to you for their next level. They're going to be looking to, because guess what? You showed up as the warrior you were, and you didn't let anything stop you. You didn't let anything stop you. You showed up as the warrior that you are, and that's valuable. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys. You guys have an amazing Monday. It's Monday. It's the Warrior series, guys. We going all in all month long. It's all the Warrior series. If you didn't get an opportunity to, make sure that you go back and check out the video from Saturday with Lee Robinson. Awesome, awesome breakdown of the art of war. And he will be coming live every Saturday for the next couple weeks. So make sure that you check it out Saturday at 12. And then, guys, we are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Hey, Sheldon, good morning. We are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:45-ish. 7:45-ish is when we go live. Guys, this is the Warrior Series this month. You have your marching orders. This is your time to move into something greater. No excuses. You're a warrior. Show up as a warrior. Show up as the warrior you are. With that being said, until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.